Welcome back to Under Oath. This is the portion of the show we like to call Two Attorneys Arguing. I don't think we argue a lot.
We really don't. We disagree with each other, but I don't know
So
that.
you don't think disagreements are arguments?
No, these are not arguments.
These are discussions
They're
with
discussions
animated
where
feelings?
usually you're wrong and I'm right.
Is that the way you play it off?
That's how I
Makes
think
you
of it
sleep
up
easier?
here. That's how I think of it up there.
Yeah, you go. Does your wife do the Hercules when you get home?
Sometimes.
Look at you. You won the argument. You're so good. You're so good.
I tell her, yeah.
So good.
You should have seen this argument I had with you.
2021. Texas mom, Casey Garcia, disguised herself as her 13-year-old daughter and attended classes all day at her middle school. She documented the day, signed in, did a bunch of things. Then later on, her actions led to a jury trial where she was found guilty, receiving a 6-month probation and 100 hours of community service and 700 probated fine.
The most important question to ask is, did her daughter's grades go up or down when she was masquerading as her daughter?
That's a good question.
I wonder.
I wonder if they booted why didn't the daughter have to pay if the daughter knew the mother was doing it as a disguise?
How do we know the daughter wasn't at the school at the same time?
So she used her daughter's ID so they had dupes?
Maybe.
Huh.
I got to imagine getting a replacement ID at the high school level is probably pretty easy.
Now,
hey, Miss McGillicuddy, I lost my library card. Can I get another one?
here's my problem.
How easy is it to get
Got a
another
bigger
ID?
problem. Got a bigger problem. Now, you always hear that Texas justice is tough. Okay? See, you people don't know things that I know and you know. You waste the court's time with a jury trial when you snuck into school, you committed the crime, and a judge gives you 6 months of probation. When did Florida become Texas? Because in Florida, you pull that off, you're doing at least 30 days.
Oh, if you waste the jury's time for a week's worth trial, you didn't plead when you should have.
Yeah.
I wonder
the
why she
Texas
didn't-
judge gave her 6 months of probation? What kind of lenient crap
I don't know.
was
What
that?
county was that? What county was that?
You
in?
wasted the court's time. You know how, see, people don't realize what a pain in the ass it is to select a jury. That's a half a day. That's
At least.
That's 12 people, no, 60 having to go in there, get picked on a jury, waste their time because this mother,
and
I
other
was
people
cute.
and other people can't have their trials because this waste of time is occurring right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here it is. You know, a lot of times people get offended, and I've read some comments about, oh, Jeff's being tough on it. You wasted the court's time, our city's time, judge's time.
What did she
ridiculous amount of money for a $700 fine. $700 doesn't cover the amount they had to pay these people for missing work.
Did she say what her point was in masquerading as her daughter?
Oh, she said it was about highlighting security flaws. Security flaws. You know what the security
does
flaw?
she really need to have gone all the way through the trouble of getting into the school? She could have just said, "Hey, Mr. Principal, I don't think there's enough security here. Can you do something about it?" Yeah. What was her problem? Was there a lot of
Casey Garcia was so noble. She was so noble. She decided this was her cause, and put it all over Facebook and said, "Look at me, I'm so great." And gets
I don't think she's
$700 fine.
I don't think she was concerned about security. I think she was reminiscing about what it was like to be a school-age girl again.
Like 18 again?
Yeah. She's just going back. Kind of like a movie, trying to see if she could pull it off.
I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back.
And when they caught her, she couldn't admit that was the reason. So she said, "Oh, I was just testing out the security."
Okay.
That's what I think is more likely.
Now, let's say your wife did it.
My wife?
Yes.
Snuck into a school, pretend to be a student?
Pretend she was Skylar.
Well, that would be pretty obvious. Skylar's 2 feet
let's say
tall.
10 years from now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Your wife tries to pull that one off. 18 again. Goes in there and tells you the reason she did it was for security. Would you buy it?
No, not at all. That's not why you went there.
Okay.
Nope. You went there for some reason other than security. Yeah, I don't need to go infiltrate the school to say, hey, there's a bunch of open areas where people can walk through. Yeah.
Does her own version of mom shit impossible.
She was up to something else. Oh, you know what? I bet you her daughter was getting bullied.
Oh.
And she probably tried to get the school to do something about it, and they wouldn't. So she went in probably to find the bullies and say, hey, listen, I'm this crazy that I will come beat your ass where you go to school if you don't leave my daughter alone. I'll bet you that's what she did. And that's why she got a $700 fine.
See, there were a lot of photos of her seeming pretty happy to go after this bully, and I don't think that happened. I think it was a typical...
Well, if you're a mom and you're beating up your daughter's bully, that makes you happy.
It feels like a Karen thing.
I heard that a mother snuck into school one time for a very similar reason. She wanted to watch her daughter fight. She told her daughter, hey, fight this person, and I'm coming to cheer you on. Or maybe it's backup. I don't know.
That sounds like a dad thing.
Her stance was that she was coming to cheer her on. I bet you she was there in case things didn't go well, so she could take over if the ass whooping didn't go as planned.
Man, could you just imagine some father dressing as a girl to get in there to watch his daughter whoop another girl's ass? You know, I'd be like Shanae. It'd be great. No, but here's where it gets silly. Let's be honest about this. Let's get serious. Schools, you hear shootings in schools. Shooting schools are bad. We can agree. They're bad. Schools. Shooting schools are bad.
Understatement of the century. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And we're the kids aren't protected. The kids aren't protected. And my argument is going to be this. There are over 97,566 schools in the country.
That's a lot of schools.
Yeah. We only have 800,000 total police officers in the country. So we only have one police officer.
That's it?
For every school, for every 8 schools. 8 police officers for every one school. And that's to cover the whole country.
Yeah, and most of those police officers aren't assigned to schools. So.
No. So what are you supposed to do? I mean, do people get shot other places? And I want to have this, I'm going to say this right now. It's always, we got to protect our schools. People are shot everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
If you took the amount of shootings outside of schools and compared them to schools, what, 1 out of 10,000? How about 1 out of 50,000?
A lot of shootings occur at places other than school. Most shootings are at places other than school. That's why it makes the news every time there's a shooting at school, because it's that unusual.
So when people say we need to protect our schools, we need to protect everything. We just don't have the resources to do it.
Correct.
So the only way you can protect every student in school is everyone gets their own individual room, like a little closet, and they go in there and the door's locked and it's bulletproof, and, they can do their thing.
Well, you can do away with schools like they did in COVID, like just have everybody learn from their computer at home. Ooh. That was a disaster. We know that doesn't work.
So what do you do? How do you protect the kids? How do we protect our kids?
I don't know that you do. Like, how do you protect the kids at a playground? How do you protect the kids in your neighborhood? Do you have constant
resource officers?
State running around watching everything that you're doing all the time?
What about resource officers?
We live in a free country.
What about resource officers?
Living in a free country, you take risks.
What about resource officers?
What about them? They can't stop necessarily someone who's committed.
Can they detour the issue?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So how many resources? How many officers there should be for school?
If you have a resource officer at one school but not another, all you're doing is encouraging whoever's going to decide to attack a school to go to the one without the resource officer.
Now, recently something happened at Joel Osteen's church. Person came in with a kid with a rifle and shot up a church. Now, they had security. Can you imagine churches? What world do we live in where churches and synagogues and everything else, we now need armed security at a place of worship?
Evil people in this world, Jeff. You should know that better than anybody.
Yeah. I don't know what to do, though. Do we live in fear? Do we have locked doors? Do we have metal detectors at every facility we go to? Even if you only have one entrance, everyone has to go through security.
Well, hold on. If you have one entrance, what are you trying to protect?
The building, I guess.
Yeah.
And what about if you
have one entrance, you're not protecting the people. All you're doing is gathering all the people that could be potential targets and putting them in a gigantic group so that one person with a bomb or a flamethrower or a nail gun or a machete can get as many of those people as they want. That's all you're doing. Like that airport security thing, the airport security, that way of conducting security, that's to protect people from getting to the planes. They're protecting the planes. They're not protecting the people who are in line. Those people are all lined up. They're very vulnerable standing in line. So if you're going to have a bunch of kids standing in line to get into class, all you're doing is giving whoever wants to hurt kids a huge pool of kids to hurt as they're all waiting to get into one entrance.
So you believe that we should have no security measures?
Not that type of security.
But what kind of security measures for a school should they have?
at a minimum, at least one security officer to patrol to make sure that, Miss Garcia isn't coming onto the property. And you got to trust the kids. You got to trust the kids, and you got to take advantage of your teachers. Your teachers have to
Snitches
also
get
be.
stitches. They've been taught. Their music taught them not to tell.
Teachers have to be vigilant.
We don't tell.
Teachers
you don't tell.
have to be vigilant.
Did you tell in high school? Would you tell?
I would say if a 45-year-old dude came onto campus, I would say something in high school.
Oh, so you would tell on Casey Garcia?
I don't know if I'd tell on a lady because it wouldn't.
Oh, look at you running the double standard.
I wouldn't think it would be a threat.
Why not?
Because it's a lady.
So we only tell when it's a threat.
Correct.
What about marijuana?
That's not a threat.
What about drugs?
Well, it depends what kind of drug.
Okay.
Someone's pushing fentanyl and cocaine and heroin in the bathroom. Yeah, I probably should tell somebody. Marijuana, cigar, no, not really.
You knew drug dealers at your school?
Yeah, I knew some.
Did you tell?
No.
Why?
Because all they did was sell pot.
Because we're told not to snitch.
No, I just knew not to snitch.
Remember, don't tell.
Pot smeller.
Don't tell.
Seller.
You're a teller. You're a narc. Remember
If you
that?
tell.
Yeah, if you tell. So our kids aren't going to say that. Oh, look, Miss Garcia walking the halls thinking she's 13.
No. I think the narc thing only works if you tell on your peers. You tell on somebody who's not even supposed to be there. I don't think that makes you a narc. Right. I think that makes you curious.
I got a question, Mr. Garrett.
You can't tell on like, the people in your peer group, but you can sure as hell tell on weirdos that are not supposed to be at your school at all.
All right. So she's disguised. She gets $700 fine, 6 months, 100 hours of community service. What I think is she should get more. I think she should have probably gotten a year probation. I think she should have got 500 hours of community service. I think they should lit her up.
Why?
Well, because here, you know how many parents
you think any of that's a deterrent? You think she won't? Do you think she's not going to do that again just because of the amount of community service hours?
Oh, yeah.
If she wanted to do it again, she'll do it again.
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Oh, the time's easy.
No.
Even the time that you propose is being Mr. Harsh. A whole year of probation.
Have you ever done 10 hours of community service?
Actually, I have. I don't think we need to discuss why, but I do know what it's like to do community service hours.
We probably need to retape this. No. The issue I have is this, and it's really bothering me because I know a little fact you might not know.
Do tell.
There are only 23,000 resource officers in the country. We have 97,000 schools. That means one resource officer for every 4 schools.
That is woefully inadequate.
And you know why it's woefully inadequate? Because we can't afford it. We can't pay our teachers. We can't afford to pay our teachers. Our classrooms are doubling and tripling in size. So we're gonna take a teacher salary and put it towards the.
We can afford to send $10 billion over to Ukraine. We could do that.
That has nothing to do with public schools. No. That has to do with the federal government.
Has everything to do with where our priorities are as a country.
No, whose priorities? The federal government or state government? Big difference.
Us, Americans.
No,
Americans'
there's not us. There's the federal government and state government. There's no us.
That's us.
No,
that's
federal
who
government
us
ain't
is.
us. Federal government ain't us.
Of course it is. Who do you think makes up the federal government?
You think I'm allowing the 2 senators in the state of Florida that they're making decisions?
Stop
it.
of us.
Stop it.
We tolerate it.
No.
We tolerate sending money to Ukraine instead of paying for our kids' schools.
I'm not worried about the Ukraine. You know, I'm not worried about the Ukraine because what we sent to the Ukraine and the amount of crazy dollars we spend on defense and you're from South Dakota, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
What does that have to do
Have you ever been to Mount Rushmore?
Of course.
Yeah. How much wasted money is camped out there?
That is a beautiful national treasure.
That senator.
How dare you?
Oh, my God. More marble there. You see the marble?
That's the only reason people even come to South Dakota.
Yeah. How much marble is on that area?
What do you mean how much marble?
Football fields of marble. I was just there about 10 years ago. I walked, I'm going, how much does it cost? That was the first thought. I didn't go, oh, look at the mountain. I'm going, wow, we spent a lot of money on this. And you know whose money was? Federal government.
Ours.
Mine. You think Florida cares about Mount Rushmore? Nope. You think Florida cares about Ukraine? Nope. Texas? We don't care about Ukraine. Nobody does. They're trying to convince us to care.
Well, why do we keep sending all that money?
Because government. Federal government.
What do you mean because of government?
Federal government.
Who makes up government?
Federal government?
Yeah. Who?
A bunch of corporations. Corporations that pay to get these guys in.
Are there people who?
No, they're corporate chills.
No, so the entire government isn't people?
Entire federal government is corporate chills.
Yeah?
Yes, all of them.
No actual people?
No, they've been paid.
The fact that we send billions of dollars to Ukraine isn't a state issue. It's a federal issue, not like the Florida, Georgia, or California issue.
But here's something else, too. You are right in the idea that money can be used as subsidies. They can subsidize education. The federal government can give some money towards education if they want to, and grants and stuff like that. But
Instead of hiring 75,000 IRS agents, what if they took those 75,000 IRS agents?
No, I'm happy with the IRS.
And
IRS
put them in the
is a
school.
fantastic institution. You men are heroes. Okay, you guys are fantastic. You do unbelievable work, and I'm so proud of you. And thank you for your service. You crazy. You out of your mind. Okay.
Well, why am I hearing the phrase "dance monkey dance" in my head?
Yes, you should be dancing. I want the cymbals going. No. There's one group of people I don't screw with. Yes. 3 letters. I don't even like to say their name. It's like Beetlejuice. I don't want to say it. I say it more than once. 3 times they showing up.
Bloody
don't
Mary,
say it.
Bloody Mary.
Yeah, no,
Turn around 3 times in the
I'm
mirror.
not screwing around with that. Come on, man. Don't even joke. Anybody gets out there, that's how they got Capone. I don't trust it.
That is how they got
Capone. You guys are fantastic. All heroes. I'll buy you as much. This isn't a bribe, but if I saw you in a bar, I'd buy you a drink. That's a big thing. A veteran buying somebody else a drink. It's a good thing. But yes. So the issues, I think, is this. I don't think you can protect schools. I don't think there's any way to protect them. I think you can do your best. I think parents need to be vigilant. I think you got to teach your kids to be vigilant.
I have a solution.
Oh, you have the answer.
I have a great answer.
You have the answer.
I do.
Okay, and what is your answer?
Arm the teachers.
Are you crazy?
No.
You know how many teachers sleep with their kids? I don't trust that.
Not most of them, I'll tell you that.
Enough of them.
A lot of them do, but that's beside the point.
One can't keep his thing in his pants.
As a matter of fact, listen, even if the teacher's molesting the children, they don't want the children to get killed because they want to at least molest them some
Unless
more.
they talk.
So at least they'll defend them.
Talking.
They'll defend them. So give them guns.
No.
Some of them guns.
We can't even trust.
Couple of them.
We can't trust
10.
We can't
on
trust
each
our
campus.
teachers to follow the plans that you give them in front to teach. And I'm going to teach them how to handle.
Okay, so not the teachers necessarily right out of college. Maybe some teachers in their 40s,
like
10
the
or so
80-year-olds
each school. Well, no, not the 80s because then they'll get the gun taken
What
away.
about the
from them.
janitors? I wouldn't mind arming the janitors. I think they put up with a lot.
Just
I think their tolerance level.
AR-15 on their back while they're
walking
mopping
through there. Yeah, Mr. Jenkins. Yeah.
Got to hope he's a good shot.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I think it's a deterrent. Nobody wants to get shot. I remember I had a case one time where it was a big issue, and it was a gun case, and we couldn't get a jury. And finally, I had to convince the jury that bullets will keep people from doing dumb stuff. And then we could all agree on that. Bullets don't discriminate. So nobody wants to get shot, so they could appreciate that concept. But guns in school, teachers, there are a lot of people who shouldn't carry guns. Our average citizen, I would say probably 20% of the people who have a weapon have never been trained to fire that weapon properly.
I don't disagree.
So, I guess you could send, I think a teacher who wants to carry a gun needs to go through a specific course and have to be trained properly how to use it. And that's the only way.
Any incentive for the teacher? Maybe give them a bonus?
Extra $5 a week.
$5 a week?
Everyone would be packing. Every teacher would be packing. That's Starbucks, man. Could you imagine every teacher? I'm against guns.
Coffee.
$5 a week. Give me my gun.
Yeah.
We have learned a very important thing, and I think America, if I have a chance to talk to America right now, people can be bought. Everyone has a price, no matter what it is. They go, I don't like that, 50,000. Well, now we're talking. Everybody has their price. Everyone's willing to do something for a dollar here and a dollar there. And you know why? Because it benefits them. Everyone has morals and principles until they're going to lose money or make money.
That's true.
So if you tell a teacher, you go to the teachers union, for example, we don't want guns. We're going to give teachers an extra $1,000 a year if you allow guns in their school. Where do we sign up?
It's an American right.
Yeah.
Constitutional right, which is convenient because it actually is.
Well, it's not. Is it really a right if you have to jump through hoops to get it? Or is it considered a privilege? Like, how they said driving was a privilege? It's not a right.
They call it a privilege because there's no guarantee of driving in the Constitution. Unless you interpret the pursuit of happiness.
I'm a convicted felon. I don't have a right to carry. I lost my right.
Well, that's true. No right is absolute.
Okay. So in the end, I have to think about this way. I think of our schools. I think of parents who go, our kids should be protected. You don't want to pay for it. Well, the government should pay for it. Government doesn't have the money. You can't. 97,566 schools have to be basically has the same security as a bank. We'd be bankrupt in what, a month? Couldn't afford it. Can't afford it.
We print money for things that we want.
Okay. We don't just we have to balance the budget. There has to be money.
Oh, no, we haven't had a balanced budget. When's the last time we had a balanced budget?
You can't just print money.
We do it all the time.
Yeah, but
if you print money,
we lie to ourselves about it.
If the Treasury prints it, it's not a problem.
We're trying to avoid that.
We're not trying to avoid it.
Well, that's why
we just print it.
Now, here's something interesting. Since we're becoming a cash society, we can agree we're becoming a cash society.
Becoming cashless.
Yes, cashless society. Okay. That's what I mean. We won't be printing money anymore. So where does the government get their money? They have little Visa cards?
Well, they'll just add a bunch of zeros to their account.
Oh, you just put it in the account. There's like digital money.
Correct.
Like crypto.
Correct.
So our government's becoming crypto.
Basically.
Wow.
They just say it exists. And everyone
blame
says,
it on school security.
Sure.
Wow, that's a nice little magic trick. You know, based on that, I think I'm going to go with the idea that we should make our schools into banks and move forward with that.
Print money at each school.